So here at the Downstream conference with Vaughan Wykes, Energy Engineering Manager at RefiningNZ and part of the leadership team up there. I mean, Marsden Point is one of New Zealand's key pieces of infrastructure. I mean, how important is energy security to the refinery, and I mean, what are the implications for New Zealand as a country, and Auckland as well, when security of supply, energy supply is jeopardised?
Yeah, okay. So to put it in perspective, energy supply is very, very important, obviously. New Zealand Refining Company, RefiningNZ, supplies around about 40% of New Zealand's total energy needs. We also supply about 90% of Auckland's total fuel as well, and that is done what we call our refining Auckland pipeline.
Okay, including the airport supply.
Which includes the supply to the airport, yeah. So obviously if electrons don't flow north,
sure,
then fuel supply doesn't flow south. That said, the work that Transpower are doing right now, and we work with the EA and others around security supply of electricity, is actually in the right direction to help us. So we think we're in a really, really good place. Energy supply is very critical for us to make sure it is robust, reliable and cost effective. The other part that is more secondary but still important for us is around gas supply for Northland as well. Not just for refinery but for Northland businesses. There's a constraint through Auckland right now. The refinery uses a lot of natural gas and would like to get access to more and more secure supply of natural gas as well. Yeah.
So when we're thinking about the challenges that the refinery faces in this area, I mean, perhaps in the long term, what are some of those key issues that will come up, do you think?
Okay, we're actually looking. Well, we're poised, hopefully, on the cusp of a major growth project up north, which is going to shareholder vote in the next couple of months in April. And the key constraints are around actually the whole supply chain about reliability, which is energy flows through into us being able to produce products from New Zealand and actually do that so robustly and reliably. So that's all part of the supply chain to help New Zealand grow.
Sure.
So the key challenges are kind of also around public awareness and acceptance for industry that we have to, at some stage, pay for investments to improve security supply, and there'll be a cost involved, but the other option is to suffer unreliability and outages. So we have to become accustomed to that. That is something we need to do. In particular, the electricity network hasn't been upgraded or worked on or maintained for many, many years, and these dollars that we spend right now are well overdue. So it's something we have to accept that we need to pay for, and as a first world country to be reliable is to have that good energy source.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does RefiningNZ's thinking change, or have you had any new lessons learned from the Maui outage last year, which limited gas supply to a lot of major users throughout the Upper North Island?
Okay, and again that comes back to that situation around investing. So in order to maintain a reliable supply, we have to invest. So the lessons learned for us, we've been back to revalidate our processes around our refining pipeline, to ensure that we have robust processes to manage the whole pipeline, and we find that we're actually in a really good space. Our pipeline capacity is available to be expanded to accommodate Auckland growth to about 2030 and beyond, possibly. We don't have a current issue with that, but it's just about a continuous awareness about that security supply. At some stage in the future, we may need to look at, as a country, an alternative means of transport between the refinery and Auckland and the rest of the country, and the most obvious choice right now would be rail. So Northland's actually got a designation up to Marsden Point, and if we could utilise that, would also help develop more business in Northland as well. So there's many spin-offs economically for New Zealand. So there are some learnings around it. Currently, we don't have an issue, but we can see New Zealand needs to really grasp it and look at either pay for it or put up with the consequences.
Yes, and those things around rail and those sorts of decisions are a long way off at this stage.
They are too, and it's going to be where there's either an economic benefit underwritten by industry as at large. The government's not really going to foot the bill, so it's got to be an economic decision or driver as well.
Sure.
I guess one of the saving graces around Maui was that there's also a second pipeline coming north, which was able to maintain secure services and generators. So we're quite fortunate. So having a duplicate system actually paid off